Welcome to the Right Pour. Today we're going to talk about this Whistle Pig Farmstock Bourbon Beyond Bond, so it's 100 proof, single barrel. And I'm going to go over a little bit of the history with Lonnie as well.
Yeah. So the one thing from what we've read, and because this is going to be a fresh for the both of us, we never had this yet, and it's going to be a we haven't even seen the bottle itself, so we haven't. It's going to be something definitely that it's going to be a first for the both of us. The only thing you've done is he took the plastic off of it, so we're going to have a fresh pop for you guys. And one thing that stands out just from the tube and stuff that it's in here, you get the entire storyline of what this bottle went through, all the way down to it's got where the barrel and stuff, what was going on with the barrel. It's got the variety of corn and also the longitude and latitude of the field that it was grown in, which it's kind of overkill, but it's really cool.
It's kind of phenomenal that being able to track that much of it.
Yes, and it's got a fun little fact here. It's got it's a 66-gallon barrel, so that's a little bit different than what normally they are. It's got a number 1 char,
which seems a light for a bourbon. I mean, typically they're around the 3 or 4 char.
Yeah, well, and that's what I like. And so I'm excited to dive into it and see what it is. And the age statement, it's got down to it's 4 years, 4 months, and 13 days.
Man, that is particular. I'm surprised they didn't put hours on that.
It's kind of cool too. And also too, it's got a QR code we did not notice that I just now seen here. And it's got, you can scan this QR code and pretty much get the whole history of this bottle. So if that's something that you kind of nerd out, I think both of us we might have that. You can do that. So just presentation wise, it's kind of a win for me. just off the bat, it's got a cool tube,
right? So hey, why don't you give us a pour, and I'll talk a little bit about Whistle Pig in the meantime. So they are a 500-acre farm out in Vermont, and they are massive. They took an old dairy farm, and I have my notes here. So it's nestled in the hills of Vermont, and it's a historic dairy barn, and they are focused on innovating the rye whiskey scene with big age statements, which this one is a pretty low age statement, but I do know like one of my friends has an 18-year as well that he's saving up for us. So they do go in on the big age statement. So that's pretty cool as well. But they also like to do unique collaborations and unique experiences. And this 100% corn bourbon with all the information on it is going to be unique on its own.
Yes, very much so. So
now also, I'm surprised at how dark that is.
Yeah, especially for a 4-year, 4-month, 13-day with a number 1 char. That is surprisingly dark.
I definitely thought that was going to be a little bit lighter on the color. I mean, it's got a nice amber color to it, but like I thought it was going to be a little bit more transparent, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I'm just that's surprising. I was thinking it was going to be more like corn liquor, straight out. But
I thought it was going to be like way more transparent.
Yeah. I've seen some that's had. I got some that are like level 3 chars that are lighter than this.
Yeah,
so that's very interesting. That who knows? You might be on something.
So as you're showing this bottle, I see a lot of information on the back of the barrel here as well. They use dent corn specifically, so it's the type of corn they use is dent corn. So I know there's hundreds of different corn varieties out there, but it's nice to know like the variety that they use as well. I think that is kind of unique and different as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty bottle too. It's like it's a very, very pretty bottle. But you ready?
Yep.
All right, I'll silent for pop.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Ooh,
how's it smell?
Corn.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I was saying I was talking about look at the like the moisture on the corn. Like that was done properly.
Also, I'm just looking at this. Like this is really cool where they have the distillery number on the cork there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I wonder if I can peel that off later and kind of make like a coin out of it. Almost like a challenge coin.
I don't know. You probably could
knock that off. Yeah.
No,
that's cool. I mean, they're definitely leaning in a lot on this presentation, and as we all know, we've been there. Sometimes presentation is not good. It is not. But let's hope this one's a little bit different. I mean, this does have a really rich color to it. I think it is awesome. I'm surprised by that. Oh yeah, I mean just corn. Like, corn. What's the note? Corn. It's corn.
Yeah, that is but it's good.
But like I'm getting
it smells good.
All right, you ever like throw your corn on the cob like on the grill to give it like a little char?
Okay, I'm following you.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like a grilled corn in a way. It's not a straight corn. It's not like a fresh corn from the field behind me here. It is.
Yeah, it's not like that number 9.
Yeah.
that you did, but
it's, I don't know, it just has like a grilled corn smell to it.
okay. I'm getting more of a sweet. Like it's definitely a sweet corn, but it's
I don't know that, like, so as they stated, it's a dent corn. I don't know the different varieties, and if it's like I probably had a dent corn when I lived up north, but I don't like I can't tell you I remember it
off the nose. From what some of the stuff that I've had where it was straight corn to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, corn whiskey to begin with, corn liquor.
Yeah.
It's not as now. It's corn. Don't get me wrong. It's sweet corn, but it's not like, in my opinion, it's not overwhelmingly corn. It's
right.
It's kind of balanced.
It's almost kind of refreshing. Like
yes, like a fresh. Have you ever chucked corn before?
Yeah.
So, like you said, to me, I get that like time you peel it back and you're like, oh wow.
I mean, that's the way I love it.
That's yeah.
It,
and it tastes not taste. We haven't tasted it yet, but it smells. It smells like fresh, Yeah, exactly. Just right when you start peeling the layers back and you get that corn. That sometimes I just rip it right open. Sometimes I just peel it back. Just depending if I'm sitting there chatting. Sitting here, it lingers. Have you noticed? Like I can smell it. It smells like I'm in because whenever we pick field corn at the house, like I'm inside the hoppers and stuff like that, and I'm getting that. But it's not a. I'm interested to see what the taste would be of it because I wonder if it's got that.
Because I mean, it's obviously got that grilled corn that I tasted or that I nosed, but I'm getting like a hint of sweetness, and I can't really tell if it's like vanilla or something, but there is that hint in the very back.
Well, that plays into the corn that I know of it being sweet like that. You're going to get that, so it's definitely
it's a unique. I mean, it's strong, but it's unique.
I'm still shocked of the color.
You and me both.
The color for the age statement and
for a char one, I expected this to not be nearly as dark as it is, but I mean, it has some really good color to it. I'm like honestly kind of surprised.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
let's go in on taste.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm itching for it.
Wow, I did not expect that. I think that is different. It's very smooth. Well, that aftertaste though.
Wow, yeah.
Not a bad way. That flavor changed all the way through. Okay, so I know you're a coffee person, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the beginning, fresh pour, I got a little bit of coffee to it. Like I drink my coffee black, right?
I do too. I do too.
But not like a bitter coffee, but like a light roasted coffee. I kind of got that on the beginning.
Let me see what you're talking about. I know one thing. I'm gonna have to revisit it because that right there shocked me. That whole up because that was a roller coaster ride there. I mean, it
really was.
Woo woo, and then on the back end, like I could see it in your face too. You're like, oh, that's smoother than you swallowed. And like, oh shit!
But like not in a bad way. It was just
it catches you off guard.
Yeah, there was like a flavor that I can't really pinpoint on the finish. That I was like, damn, like that's different. Like I could taste the char. I could taste the char that they have there. That it's not because it's definitely not tannic. I'm not getting oak tannins at all, but I can taste the oak char. And then it's slightly more than a toasted barrel.
In my opinion, I think for what I would say about that would be, I'm not getting the char. I'm getting the back end of the corn itself, and with growing it and stuff like that. That's what I'm getting. You're getting the flavor consistency of the corn, which also,
God, it's sweeter now that it's been opened up.
Which also too, I'm wondering because we normally let it sit longer than we normally do. But we was not trying it. We were.
I was excited.
I was excited to try it too, and that definitely caught us off guard, but. It's definitely got a very sweet linger to it, but it's not a bad aftertaste because there's some that I've had where it's like corn whiskeys and stuff that it's like, all right, now I'm getting tired of it. Now, This one lingers a while.
It does.
Which after it lingers a while, I'm still. I've seen some where I'm getting a little bit of earthy tones, but you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that from corn to begin with,
right? Especially being 100% corn.
Yeah, you're gonna get that even if you're eating corn, but
there's an aftertaste in the back that I just cannot pinpoint. Like, it is good, but I cannot like say that's what that flavor is. So as you go in, I just want to give you another fact here.
It has opened up more in the nose. Yeah, I just sat there for a while.
So the master distiller from, I believe it was Maker's Mark. I'm probably wrong here, but Dave Pickerel, one of the best master distillers out there, helped them get their footing. So he came in. He also helped Hill Rock, which is an episode that we're going to do later on. At the same time, so he went up basically to New England and helped at Hill Rock in New York and Whistlepig here in Vermont, and helped get them to dial in and teach them the things that they know. So these aren't just some random people out here that are figured it out. They have some like serious training behind them to make sure they were doing it right.
That's the one thing that I have discovered that I really love and respect is that you have all these people are like, they're all buddies. All these master distillers, no matter, like, they're friends with each other, and whether they don't believe in the whole competition, they don't believe competition is bad. They believe competition is good
because it makes everyone better.
It does, and I love that because that they're not competing against. They're competing against one another. Don't get me wrong, but they're helping each other out. You'll find out that some of these distilleries that they're neighbors with each other, they're buddies, their kids went to school together and stuff like that. And like you said, this one person went all the way up there, helped them out, and they didn't have to do that, but they look out for each other, and they're making good products, and their products are different from each other. So it's actually growing it. So that I like that. And you'll find that everybody helps each other out when they don't put each other down.
Right. And that's kind of was in the craft beer world when I was up in New England as well. Is like everyone was there because they want to grow and learn from each other, and they want to make their product better. And that's what I like about this too, is that he left his job in Kentucky, I'm assuming voluntarily, and went out and helped get all these other distilleries on their feet. And I think that's great because now he's saying like, okay, you have your idea here, and there's something about Hill Rock that's like super duper unique. Like, you're going to be kind of blown away by this, like how unique their process is for some of it. But then he also went up to Whistlepig and said like, okay, you're taking this dairy farm, you're taking this unique still here. And they literally plopped the still in the middle of this dairy barn, right? I mean, like they had to custom build it inside of the barn to make it fit. You know, they couldn't just like tote it in through the barn door. It don't work like that.
They didn't build the facility. They put it in the facility.
Exactly. So they didn't build the facility around the still. They built the still into the facility, which I think is freaking cool. Like, it's been around forever. And then so it's like he went in and said, okay, you have this unique idea too. Let's roll with that, and let me help you make this better. Now, unfortunately, he has since passed in 2018, but his legacy still lives on with all of these distilleries. So, I mean, exactly. He is helping get everyone on their foot, and I know he's looking up from above or looking down from above, looking at all the good stuff that everyone's doing. So I think I agree. I think it's very nice that he helped get them on their feet, and it shows his craftsmanship has carried on to the next people, the next generation.
It's gotten stronger. So I'm going to let it sit here. Hold on, I got an idea. Let's pour a little bit more, let it sit for a little while. Let's see how it opens up. And then while we do that and let it sit here, tell me some more about the history behind it.
Sure. So bear with me here. I'm going to be looking away from screen. I have some direct quotes that I really need to make sure I get correct here on my research. But we do know that rye whiskey is one of the more challenging ones to deal with because it is like that spice and that strong flavors that it does bring to the table. You have to be careful with it. I feel like it's pretty easy to mess up, and they kind of agree with this. So I'm going to read this quote here. Rye whiskey is one of the most challenging whiskeys to make. It requires a delicate balance of ingredients and a skilled hand to bring out its complex flavor. The process begins with milling the rye grain, and this is followed by the mashing, which converts the starches into grain starches the grain into sugar. And the next step is fermentation. And the yeast brings down the sugars, produces alcohol, and finally the whiskey is distilled to remove impurities aged in oak barrels to impart the flavor. Now that came straight from Whistle Pig's website. Now I know this one is a 100% corn, but I feel like at the same time, taking that rye whiskey knowledge and knowing how important it is to make that process as balanced and perfect as it needs to be also comes into play here. Because with a corn, I feel like, in my opinion, it's going to be easy to screw up.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't get it right, if you don't do the right corn, or if you don't age it right, or whatever may the process be, I feel like it can easily be messed up.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, even though right off the rip, we were both like very kind of blown away with how young it was.
Yeah.
And in our opinion of it, a young bourbon being 4 years, 4 months, 13 days. That's still 4 years, 4 months, 13 days. They got to sit there. So that's still a significant amount of time of gambling.
Basically. It really is. I mean, because you're only dealing with corn here, but you're gambling on the fact that this is going to come out good, especially on an oversized barrel when typically they're 53 gallons. So you're going in with a much bigger barrel than normal. Yeah. You're using a still that pretty much no one else uses from what I can tell. I'm sure there's others out there that I haven't researched yet. But you're doing this with 100% corn, with that barrel, with that still. You're just doing something super unique that's could definitely be a miss.
Yeah.
And I think this one's a hit. I can't wait to let this open up a little bit more. Now, from what I understand too, is that they use all Vermont oak barrels. So they source everything within that state. Now, this one here, I know it says the barrel information on the top a little bit there. I don't know if that is their particular barrel. Like if I'm assuming there's a cooperage that they used for it. I don't know if they did this themselves.
It's for anyone interested. It's what it's marked at here on the top here, because it gives you like you're looking at the history basically of what this is, but it's marked as the barrel BRL, and it's got 42420 straight bourbon whiskey is what it's marked at. So
I wonder if that's just the label they have for the Rick House. I'm not sure, but I mean, either way, I do know in my research here, they are sourcing Vermont oak barrels. So whether it be for this one or not, they are at least sourcing locally found oak with the cooperage to give them the char that they want, or they might do it in-house. I haven't been clear on that one, but at least they're keeping everything as close. And this one is farm to bottle, right? So even if they don't make their own barrel, they're at least sourcing it as local as possible. So
they're getting it as close to locally sourced as you could possibly get without themselves going out buying the farm and making the coopers themselves. Right. So, and that's one thing too, like we've touched on or maybe going to touch on, depending on when this episode falls, that whether if you look at all the stuff that goes into it, you can respect that region of that area, that region's whiskey, bourbon, whatever, spirits in general, what they are producing. You got to look at it at that. Don't look at it as comparing this to a Kentucky product, comparing it to a South Carolina product, or a Texas product. You need to sit down and say, this is from that region, that area. Look at it with open eyes.
And even to this point, like it's a sub-region. So like, because everyone classifies that area as New England, right? New England is your Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont. That's New England, right? They're keeping it to the sub-region of the state. Even more. Okay.
So you're even more honed in on that.
Right.
So,
and granted, they're a few hour drive apart from each other. I mean, like,
it's still, I mean, in the region it's still
drastically different too. You know? So, I mean, the oak growing up there and then being able to source that oak can be wildly different than Kentucky. And I'm assuming that's going to make some sort of difference. Now, scientifically speaking, I can't sit here and say, yes, that's going to make this note better or that note better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not.
It's nice that they're keeping that region economic wise, but also flavor wise. Yeah. And that's really what it's coming down to, is like they're keeping that flavor and they're trying to do everything they can to keep it as close as they possibly can to make it so unique to them.
Well, and I can respect that. Yep. Whether I particularly like it or whether I don't, I will still throw that into my how I'm not want to say judging or how I'm ranking them. It's in terms of I respect you're going instead of them getting something from out of state, they're using the cards of which they were dealt. Yep. So they're keeping it local. Whether I particularly like it or not, I'm still going to give them. I'll give them a positive plus to them keeping it local, keeping the business and the revenue going into them local farms and local whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
They're sourcing it from their state.
They are harvested directly from the farm in the surrounding area. So those trees are right from them. Now, once again, still don't know if they're putting the barrels together, charring them themselves, but they're at least keeping track of where those barrels are coming from.
Yeah.
On their own farm, where the corn came from, where all this other stuff came from. So that is pretty dang sweet.
So to me, it sounds like, well, you said it's beyond bonded. I mean, that's literally what it's classified as. To me, it sounds like they are really, really honing in on that.
And they're honing in so much so that, and I quote here, the cold climate means a stronger growing season leading to the oak trees with a more growth ring. So that means there's more complexity in the tree itself. So maybe that's why they decided to go with the char 1 versus the char 3 or 4 is because that oak alone has already got so much in it that they're like, we don't need to do anymore.
That's so, going back to the man that I wonder, just going from what I have learned, going through whenever I went on the bourbon trail and stuff, the distilleries and stuff that this man beforehand had worked at, he is actually, from the other distilleries that you told me about and that I know, he's very, very rooted in of self-sustainability, looking after the land and going down to the trees and the forest. So that makes me wonder if he had some input in that, because that is what some of these other distilleries are doing that I have looked into, and they're really helping out. Where a lot of people they look at and they're actually helping the environment and they're helping making it sustainability. So if he's able to, I don't know if that's the case or not, but I've seen it in these other distilleries, then I'm pretty sure that he's had some input into that, which is really good that they're able to again, they're not only they're giving back, and they're also they're using what they got, but they're also giving back 10 times fold.
Right, exactly. And leading into what you said there, with how he was into the forestry part of it as well. And it does say here, when aging whiskey encounters a growth ring in a barrel, it brings depth and complexity to the flavor with mind-blowing results. So, like I stated, with maybe that's why they did the number 1 char, is probably because he said, like, hey, look, like when you have this much ring and that much flavor in the wood itself,
you don't need it.
You're right. You don't need to go deep into the char because all that flavor is already so up front into the wood. So that could be. But real quick as well, what you said, self-sustainability. Once again, another quote, so bear with me here. The solar array on the barn, right, produces enough energy a year to bottle whiskey for 494,530 old-fashioned cocktails.
So basically, one spring break in Panama.
Basically, yes. So they are 100% solar powered. This entire distillery is 100% solar powered. So self-sustainability is there, 100%. Yeah, which I think is phenomenal. They turn around and said, "All right, like screw this carbon footprint thing. We're going to do our solar. We're going to make everything self-sustainable. No matter what happens, we're going to be here doing what we need to do for the environment." Which, I'm not much of a tree hugger. I don't want to say I hate the environment. I'm not a tree hugger. I'm an off-roader, right? Yeah, I mean, like my hobby outside of this is off-roading and going in the trails. So we naturally do like the woods and the trees, and we want to keep the forest the way they are. So being that they're doing this as well shows like, okay, we align mentally on some of the same things. Yes, we just go about it differently.
I will respect anybody that is going above and beyond. I will respect them for doing that. I mean, do what you want to do in that, but they are being able to, in my opinion, they're able to hone in on that, and they're able to keep it self-sufficient. So whether or not, even if it's not environmental practice, they're able to, as a distillery, they're still keeping it in-house. So therefore, and I respect that they're looking out for their employees. And they're looking out for their area and stuff like that. So, I mean, kudos to them. I mean, if they're doing that, like they're doing it solar power, like you said. Like I said, then that's good. They're able to be self-sustainable, which it works out for us because they're making good whiskey. They're going to be able to continue at the price point at which they're doing it.
And speaking of their employees, here's some unique fact about that too, is that they are female run. So basically, from my research, all of the managers, the national distillers, like everyone that has a say in every little bit of it
Mhm.
is all female run.
Wow.
Which is super unique in this industry. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Like, there are plenty of women master distillers out there, right?
Mhm.
But they are doing everything basically as a woman-owned business, from what it seems like. Now, it could be slightly wrong with that part. I don't know who owns it. I didn't really look into that, to be honest with you. But the fact that like all the managers, the master distillers, the farm people, like all the ones making the calls
Mhm.
are all women, which I think is fantastic. Like,
Yeah, I mean, well, you can respect it,
mhm.
and
it goes to show that like they know what the fuck they're doing. Like, they really do. So it's like you got to show respect on that one too. Like, I want to see more of that. I really do.
And well, like I think we can speak to that 100% from the heart, because we have somebody that's like a mentor to us,
Mhm.
that she really
She knows her shit.
we will put her up against anybody.
She 100% knows her shit.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, she will outdo anybody, any male, any female, to the point where, and she doesn't give her credit where credit is due.
Mhm.
And she is definitely a phenomenally brilliant woman. But no, she's definitely been a phenomenal mentor to us and taught us a lot. And in my opinion, speaking to her and stuff like that, she doesn't give credit where credit is due, especially with her.
Mhm,
and also too, from hearing what she said, I feel like she's kind of been objectified in a way. And I'm never one that ever gets on that.
Mhm.
But seeing it firsthand with her and seeing the remarkable person that she is in this community, in bourbon and whiskey and spirits alone,
Mhm.
that, all right, look, I'll give it to her. Like, and I'm not one of those that says that. And to me, I could honestly, before meeting her, I could care less. But after meeting her and stuff, I really, really see that like she knows what she's talking about.
Right.
And with this being a female ran distillery, I don't care. Like they know what they're doing. I mean, clearly they know what they're doing, because you see Whistle Pig.
I mean, yeah, they got
everywhere.
They're they're on Boss Hog 11 now, the Juggernaut. Like, they're putting out tons of really, really good high age statement, really awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also have like their normal 6-year rye and their little odds and ends from there. And this being one of the ones I believe is going to be not released, constantly, but is going to be more readily available. So it's like they obviously know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, well, clearly, and the thing is though, who cares?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, who cares? And it's.
I mean, I see what you mean. I like to know that, because it to me it shows that they should be respected. And
yes,
because when we talked about that in the Widow Jane episode as well,
yes,
like their master distiller is a woman, and the one before that's a woman as well. So it was like, okay, they obviously are leaning in on the quality of the person's job.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I wasn't meaning like I was meaning in terms of people that, I don't know how to exactly put it, but it would be in terms of it gets overlooked, or people like it still needs to matter. It needs to matter, but it needs to get to a point where it's equally shared of respect.
It needs to get to the point where it matters, but for lack of a better term, doesn't matter.
Yes, it doesn't matter. It's be like, oh, yes, you can, like, definitely, I want to hear what your opinion is on this right here.
Like, she sits at the table with all the other master distillers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can get that. And definitely, because now, like you said, in terms of the bourbon community, from what we've seen, especially with our friend, that it's she can outdo any man in the room.
She really can.
She can outdo any man in the room. And that being said, they have my respect.
Yeah.
And for them to be able to put out a product like this, for it to be, like we said, the age statement on it, 4 years, 4 months.
Seems so light.
It seems so light, with a light char, that it's as dark as it is, and it's kind of flavorful. And
I was genuinely took back by that.
I was too. And it's
which means I guess they probably sat around, they drilled the hole, they thieved it straight out and said they waited, and they were like, now it's time.
Yes,
this is it. Like, they tasted that barrel and was like, this is what we're looking for. Take it out.
Yes, and the one thing that I've learned from watching some of the videos and the educational stuff from a distillery that we are going to in a little bit, that right down the road, that they actually taught me something I did not know, where it's don't particularly go off of, sometimes the older isn't the better. And this bottle has definitely kind of showed that because it's like they'll look at something where it's like a 4 to 5 to 6 year, like, go ahead and pull it.
Yep.
And that's one thing that he has said, the master distiller there, that I've watched some of his stuff and some, because he does some educational videos and I've studied up on it. And this bottle has opened it up to me. Now, I want to see. We've let it sit for a little while. Let's go ahead and see.
Because I just gave it a quick little nose. I mean, it's still obviously super strong in that corn.
It's more. It's way more.
But it's like, it almost smells more fresh.
It's more sweeter.
I guess. Yeah, I get more earthy to it. Like the corn flavor is there, but that earthiness is definitely coming a little bit stronger. Almost dusty, like slight dusty. I know that sounds weird.
I just get straight sweet. Like, I'm just getting straight sweet.
This one's not that sweet for me. It's very, I guess like the lack of a better term is fresh. But the flavor is just
okay.
I'm getting a little bit more of that like chocolate note now, but it's faint. It's definitely not as like sweet corn. It's like an earthy corn. It's a little bit more. I see what they mean by dent corn now. Like I do, like I can tell.
Okay. I see what you're talking about, the freshness.
Mm-hmm.
I can see there, but I'm getting the freshness on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
But on the back end, definitely has deplenished on the sweetness, and I'm getting more corn. Yeah, I will say that I'll meet you in the middle there on that one.
So I mean, like this one is really like I'm not getting that sweetness, and I don't think it ever will be sweet for me. It's just very earthy, a little dusty, but I'm getting a little chocolate, like not sweet chocolate, but I'm getting a little chocolate to it.
I reckon that plays into good how we're both getting different things. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
I think it's very unique. It's different. It's unique. Like, I mean, when I saw the 100% corn, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little leery on it, but I think it is.
Okay, shit. I get a cocoa thing. I get it that time. But it's a. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Fuck.
But it's light. It's very light, like it's faint.
It's faint. I'm hunting for it. Like after I sat there and you said that, I'm looking for that.
Like once you get it, you're like, oh, okay, I can see that. Like it's there.
I can see it, but I'm getting sweet. You're not getting no sweet, but I'm getting sweet.
No, I'm just getting earthy, dusty, but like good. Like it just feels. It like in a way, it just reminds me of like a fresh corn grilling on a summer day, like.
It's becoming way more corny.
Yeah.
But than originally. Then I want to say now right off the rip, fresh crack. I was getting a 9 out of 10,
mm-hmm.
and the more it's opened up, which like we always preach, the further we get down into the bottle, mm-hmm. I want to see what it goes into.
Yep.
But fresh crack, I'm looking more of a 7 out of 10 now, because it's starting to dissipate.
Yeah, and
I don't know, is that what you're kind of getting to?
Oh, I think the richness is still there, but it's like it's not as complex as other ones we've had. I think it's good. But it's unique. It's not something I'm going to reach for every single time. But someone goes, "Hey man, like I just want something different."
Yes, well,
it's a good different, but it's not a everyday different.
Yes, and well, that's a good thing too, because like we said. We were shocked at the color. We were shocked at the age statement. But now I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
Now that they're starting to come together from that, and I still respect it. But one thing
I still think it's super good for a taste statement, though.
It is. But that being said, what price point are we looking at?
This one was $110 in North Carolina.
$110.
Yep.
Okay. Damn.
Yes.
Okay. I did not realize that.
I took a risk on this one.
Okay.
I don't regret it. Did I just make
okay. Yeah.
That's my money. I don't regret it.
Okay.
Was it pricey that it hit the wallet and I was like, oh god, that kind of sucked? Yes. But
okay. Well, then here, a hot take. I was thinking we were looking at around the $50 statement. I did
no.
not realize we were over the sub. We were plus 100.
Mhm.
I did not realize that, which I'm glad I didn't realize that going into it, because I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. But I mean, honest review.
Okay, honest review. I'm not going to go out and source another bottle to have as a backup. But when this one's done and it's finished and I see it on the shelf again, I'm not going to not go after it at the same time.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But also, like you said earlier, that it's not something that you're going to like, you're not running and reaching for.
Yeah.
Now, this one would be in my opinion, it's definitely, if you're liking those corn notes and you're liking the story and stuff behind it, it's definitely it's a solid pour. Now, you hit me with the price point.
You ain't gonna go buy it. I know you're not.
No, my ranking is definitely like,
you ain't gonna buy it.
Now, taste wise, I'm not 7 out of 10, but everything together, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 now.
I'll still give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Well,
even at the price point.
And I respect that.
And I think the price point's high just because you're not mass producing the corn, you're not mass producing the farm, everything like that. So
yeah,
when you have to pay the employees on your, I know 500 acres doesn't sound small, but relatively speaking, it is small.
Yeah, for what it is.
So you have to pay the employees to do this. So like the cost to get all of this from grain to glass on the exact same farm is so pricey to begin with. So I see how the price reflects that, but I see what you mean where you're like, when you have a $50 bottle like the old Dominic, it's like you can't.
Yes.
It's hard to justify sometimes.
It's hard to justify. But the thing is and I'm really glad I didn't ask that beforehand about what the price was. Yeah. Because I will say, like I said, my ranking for the juice, the juice alone, 7 out of 10.
To me, it's a 7 out of 10 on the juice at the price point, just because you have to pay those employees and those costs add up. I can see the quality that comes into it. And now this is definitely not a pour for everyone. I definitely agree with that. It's super unique. I can see why a lot of people are like, yeah, screw that. I'm never going to buy that. And I honestly wouldn't blame them.
Yeah, I get that. Now, that being said, we've come to the conclusion. You're going 7 out of 10.
Yep.
That definitely classifies in your opinion.
Even at that price point.
Even at the price point, that classifies in your opinion as a right pour. Now mine, I don't know what would be I'm still at that 5 out of 10 just because I didn't realize of the price point. And going to that's my honest review, 5 out of 10. It's good, but
so we'll average this one out as a 6 out of 10. That'll be our average.
Overall. The overall opinion of the both of us combined, a 6 out of 10.
Yep.
And it's
something that I personally will source again once this one's gone, but not as a backup. But I can see you're probably never going to source this one.
No, honestly, if I'm giving an honest take for that $110, I'm going to go after something different.
See, I'd rather have this over a lot of the allocated bottles that are overpriced.
Oh well, no, yeah. Don't get me wrong. If you're going for,
so that's a different story now.
That's a whole different story. I was thinking in that characteristic of $110.
So MSRP,
MSRP. Then MSRP. Then I mean, my opinion is still going to be a 5 out of 10. But MSRP, if you're going for the story and stuff behind it, then yeah, it's there for you.
Yeah.
But I'm going off of overall drinking and juice and stuff like that. What you're getting for $110, she's kind of young.
Yeah. No,
I mean, that's my hot take of my opinion on
that's
it.
Not even a hot take. That's
fact. Fact. That's a fact.
It's,
but
for 4.5, call it short term, 4.5 year for that price. It is a low age for that high of a price.
Now, if I was going to the distillery, found it, met the people, and then bought the bottle, that's a whole different ball game. But for me, go buy it at the store and stuff like that, it's gonna be a hard sell for me. But I will definitely respect and support them. I will support them 100%. They make good stuff, but it's just a little high for my bracket.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you think. Would you be buying this one, or would you be passing up on it? I personally don't regret it, but like I said,
Now don't get me wrong. It is 100% a right pour from what you're going for. If you're going for the story, going for what they have, and also too, you're going to find the baddest, bad to the bone corn bourbon like that, then that's it.
Yep.
Now, 100%, that's it. Now, you might like it. If you love corn in general, this, my friends, is the bottle for you. It is 100% the right pour for you. Now, if you're looking for a cool story and you're looking for something that's definitely unique, that'll bring a good story behind it, 100% spend the money.
Yeah.
But it's just, like I said, I'm going to stand on that hill. It's hard for me to justify it. But the story does justify it if you're looking for something different.
Fair.
That'll be my honest opinion of it.
Well, I guess that settles that. One loves it. One is okay with it.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but it's going to be it's a hard selling point. But I respect it. The story and stuff's behind it. Like I said, I'll try to sell one.
You'll still sell one, but cheers, y'all.